Welcome to the Penny Stock and Cryptocurrency Survival Guide. Before we get into the class itself, I want to give you a little bit of context. The class I put together several years ago, but the key thing here is that the class is about emotions and psychology. And with emotions and psychology, because we're human beings, they've always been around and they will always be around. So what you learn about has been valuable, still is valuable, and will be valuable in the future because we're humans. We're always going to have anger, greed, overconfidence, sorrow, freaking out. All those things have always been around and will always be around. And the key is when you understand those dynamics, as cruel and mean as it sounds, you can leverage those dynamics against other people. If you understand how other people are feeling, how other people are viewing different circumstances, then like I said, you can leverage that to put profit in your pocket. Yes, that sounds mean, but that's how the financial markets work. It's understanding how other people are feeling and believing and then using that to your advantage. The other note is that this course is based around penny stocks, but please realize this for you crypto traders. Anytime I say the word penny stock, you realize that you can and should replace that with a cryptocurrency. Anytime I'm talking about an exact penny stock, please realize you can and should insert in any sort of coin that you may be looking at, because the emotions and psychology is a perfect parallel between penny stocks and cryptocurrency markets. And it's a way that you need to go into surviving penny stock trading, crypto trading, or maybe you're going to do both. But you better understand how what I call the wilderness works, because if you can understand the wilderness, you're going to give yourself a way better opportunity to make money as a whole. So let's go to my desktop and let's get into the class. As we continue on through our penny stock wilderness, let's now talk about our food source, those that are investors and lazy. As you can see in that picture, I love a hamburger. It makes me hungry just looking at it, even though it's a cartoon. But I want you to imagine your favorite food there. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for your favorite food. In my case, I'm looking for a hamburger, and there is no hamburger if there is no food source. Who is the food source? Hopefully you know the answer to that by now. The food source is the investors, the people that think penny stock garbage are investments, and then the lazy. So that's who we're going to learn about in this video. We've talked about all the other sections. Now it's time to talk about the big section. I put that in bigger letters for a reason, because this is the support of the foundation of the pyramid. Without this foundation, without this food source, the penny stock wilderness collapses, nobody eats, and it's just miserable for everybody. So we want food, we need food, the wilderness, in order for the hunters and such to survive. Food source is crucial, and that's where we're going to be talking about now. Now, the lingo in the market for these are the longs. If you see somebody talking about their long, or the longs are so stupid, or man, this is like taking candy from a baby, those stinking longs, then this is what we're talking about. And simply put, these are the people in the wilderness that we devour our profits from on a daily basis. Long and strong, have you heard it? If not, there's no doubt in my mind you will. Now, there are three main causes that lead someone to becoming a long. So we're going to look at causes, and then we'll look a little bit more in depth in things. But let's first start with causes. I found this picture. People cry not because they're weak. It's because they've been strong for too long. And that's just a play on words in the long and strong. I don't know. I find it pretty funny, but I'm kind of easily amused. But anyways, let's get started. Let's talk about the three different reasons, the three different causes that may lead someone to actually becoming one of these food sources. And I really couldn't help myself. I just had to throw this in. Literally, I'm not kidding. Took me about 30 seconds to find. Just people saying the saying. So if you've never seen it before, here you go. No worries, Pete, whoever Pete is. Long and strong. All right. Excellent. And like I've been saying, this is SGLB. This was made on 3/24/14. So do some research. Check up on that. How is SGLB? Should Pete have been worrying, or should he have been long and strong? I'm curious. I'm in here. Long and strong too. All right, that's good. Long and strong for Tron. TRON. Again, 3/25/14. Check out Tron. See if that long and strong. See if that was a good choice. So the first cause of becoming a food source and becoming an investor along is just going to be ignorance and innocence. This was totally me. I walked into the market just I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't really understand what I was getting myself into. Worse yet, I had no idea, or I didn't realize everything that the penny stock wilderness involves. I just knew the basics, so I was innocent. I very, very innocent. So I had confidence, but as far as what everything entailed, how everything functions, all the dynamics that you're now hopefully starting to really see, just everything, all the moving parts. I didn't know any of that, so I was just stumbling in, and I was totally ignorant to how things really act. And this is what happened to me, and this is what happens. You know, ignorance and innocence, not an excuse. The wilderness will still spit you up and chew you out, and they will gladly do so. So many, and I was in this category. You know, you walk in innocent, you're ignorant, you have your best intentions at heart, and boom, you end up as some hunter's lamb chop dinner. So we do not want to become lamb chop dinners. If you become a lamb chop dinner after watching this course, then shame on you and shame on me for not communicating the facts and the idea is good enough and more clear enough. But right here, I mean, this is what happens to the innocence and ignorance. And again, just want to reiterate, this is not an excuse. Just because you know, it's one of those things where if a sleazeball loses money, you're like, ha, sleazeball, you lost money. But you almost kind of feel bad when the ignorance and the innocent people come in, especially when the ignorance is just breeded out of innocence. But the penny stock market does not care. This is the wilderness. It's nature. And if you're not careful, this is what you're going to end up turning into right there. I'd say probably 90% of people start off in this category. And let's call an ace and ace again. You will get taken advantage of. I was taken advantage of. And that's just how the penny stock game works. If you don't know how it works, then you are the one getting worked. And if you don't think that's the case, then don't worry. Just be patient. Your turn, your slide is coming soon. So this next slide, don't worry about it. The key thing is here is, do you learn from your mistakes? After getting a bite taken out of your portfolio, do you want to learn? And like I say in this third bullet point, given that you are watching this, I would say it's safe to assume that you have learned, and not only that, but you are looking to learn even more to prevent this. So good on you, nice work. It's a good sign that you want to get yourself figured out, learn kind of how you ended up where you did and how you can correct it, and that's what we're here to do. So good on you, and congratulations for not sitting there blaming somebody else, and more importantly, well, not more importantly, but good on you for not being lazy and actually wanting to learn and better yourself. So for those people, like I said in the previous slide where I said your slide was coming, where you think, no, that's never going to happen to me, I'm too good, I'm too smart, I'm too pretty, I have great hair, I have great eyes, look at this smile, don't worry. The stock market eats up egos all the time, and it's not a surprise because it's filled with egos, but all those egos that come up, they easily get humbled. So if you find yourself thinking, I'm too smart to be tricked, I know how to do proper research. Proper research. You think penny stock investing is proper research? I will find the true diamond. All right, good luck, Indiana Jones. Most times they'll never admit they're wrong. So that's the big thing with egos. Again, if you're watching this, then I would assume that you are not a big ego maniac, because an egomaniac would never admit that they're wrong, and therefore, since they're never wrong and it's somebody else's fault, why do they need to learn? Why do they need to invest in their education? It's not my fault. I'm flawless. I have great smile. I have great hair. So again, I think it's pretty safe. Maybe you used to have an ego, but having an ego and present time, that's totally different. A lot of people have had an ego, but if you no longer have one, then that's totally different. So the people with big egos, though, they're never going to be listening to this, just because that is not in their nature. Same with the lazy. And I wish I could be more polite, but I think you're starting to figure out here as we progress through the course that I'm shooting pretty straight. Ego, these people, these longs, whatever you want to call them, the people drunk on Kool-Aid, these are some of the dumbest people that you will come across. And yet they are the ones who think they are the smartest. And this is where there's this thing as a time trap. That's going to be later on in the course. But these are the people that will suck you right in the time trap. They are not wrong. They have all the answers. They know it all. And I love this slide here, just about ego. More the knowledge, lesser the ego. Lesser the knowledge, more the ego. And boy, Albert Einstein, you were totally right, because spend some time on message boards, spend some time on social media or in chat rooms. You will quickly see that the people that know less have the bigger ego, because the more you know, and this is for me, I'm always learning, I'm always trying to learn, and boy, there's so much out there that I still don't know. And it's one of those things where, I don't know, that's the perfect equation, and Albert Einstein sums it up perfectly, and I'll just leave it at that. And then we have the lazy. These are the best because they're lazy. I guess that's the best way to put it. Very self-explanatory. These people are lazy in multiple senses. They're lazy of time. I just want to get rich real quick. They don't want to have to wait. They don't want to have to just do anything. They're lazy in their time. I want to get rich quick. Penny stock wilderness is filled with people that just want to get rich quick. They're lazy in education. I don't want to have to learn anything. Just tell me what I should do. Take my hand, guide me through the forest. Unfortunately, when those hypnotizing pumpers get their hands on them, you know where those people are going to be led, straight to the slaughterhouse. And for me, I just wave and say, see you later, because I have very little compassion for the lazy. I got duped, yes, but mine was more of an innocence, and I decided to correct it. I wanted to learn. These people, they get duped. It's not their fault. Oh, it's the other person's fault. They told me what to do this, blah, blah, blah. They never want to accept any responsibility. And when they do succeed, it's right here. It's because of this luck. It is, give me a break. It's not because of hard work. They just want somebody to take their hand, and once in a while it'll work, but in the long run, following is not a wise strategy. I'll just put it like that. And then they're also lazy in just of an understanding. They think that penny stocks is pure gambling. So that's what I'll do. They look at it as this is Las Vegas. It is not Las Vegas. If you understand the emotion and everything that we're going with, if you're not greedy, you can tilt the odds in your favor greatly. I'll never say anything's guaranteed, but this is certainly not gambling. Gambling is just throwing your money out there and whatever happens, happen. And that's what the lazy people do, but we know much better than that. There's a reason why you have people that have been trading penny stocks for a long time. And there's reasons why there's people at roulette rule. There's no professional roulette players. I guess I'll put it like that. So penny stocks and just stocks in general, not gambling. You can tilt the priorities in your favor. Is it ever going to be flawless? Of course not, but you can definitely put things into your favor. Now, as far as promoters and pumpers are concerned, I mean, this is straight up stealing candy from a baby. I mean, it's not like these people are actually going to pick up the phone and call investor relations or anything like that. I mean, for some, it's too much work to even pull up a press release and read it. And when I say pull up, all I mean is you type it into, Yahoo Finance and it pops up. But for some, that's even too much work for them. They're literally just tell me what to do. Let me show up on some random place on the internet and start to ask for advice. They'd rather sign up for the promoter newsletters and just be told what to buy. Hey, look, this newsletter's nice. Hey, look, this newsletter has an awesome name. I mean, wow, that's really cool. And it's free? Oh, even better yet. And I don't have to do anything. They're just going to send me an email in my inbox every morning. Perfect. That's what I'm going to do. I don't want to invest a dime of my time or money into education. I just want to be told what to do. And promoters, this is where they make their living. They make a living from this food source. As you saw in the promoter, when we were creating our email, signing up for all those, you saw people paid. The key is go to where the paid ads are. People are paying for food sources. So people don't pay for things that don't work. So those food sources, those are the people they're targeting. People that hop on the search engines, see free hot pick, fall for all, 100% gains every time. They fall for that. And this is where the promoters make their living from. Because remember, the investor will hopefully learn. I was a quote unquote investor. I'm guessing you were an investor. Now you want to learn more. They're open. They're willing to work hard and learn. Lazy? Nope. They just want to sign up for those newsletters and just keep on buying those picks. It's one of those things where if one newsletter burns them, I'll just go sign up for another one. And then that's all they do is they hope once in a while they'll make some winners from luck, but over the long haul, their portfolio is going nowhere. All right, again, this is one of the most important slides in the entire presentation because this is what we need to use to measure the longs and measure our food source. Our food source is measured by the Kool-Aid gauge. Remember the food source down at the bottom of that pyramid? It is the foundation, it is the structure, it's what we need to monitor. And the Kool-Aid gauge is going to tell us exactly that. So with that being said, just because somebody is long, just because somebody is an investor, or just because they're lazy, there's going to be different severities that it can range from. It can be from borderline long to passed out drunk, and we love passed out drunk. So let's take a look here a little bit more. First, let's just start off where we are. This is where we hang out right here on the Kool-Aid gauge. Right there on 0. There is no Kool-Aid in our system. We know what's going on. We know what people are attempting to do. We understand that people are trying to get us to drink the Kool-Aid, but if a cop were to pull us over, make us blow on the little breathalyzer test, our Kool-Aid level would show 0, and that's where we want to be. You then have the borderline people. They're over in this range here of the Kool-Aid gauge. Yeah, they're drinking it. They're kind of skeptical.
is this really possible? I mean, I guess, they're walking on thin ice. They're just unsure. So they're over in this range. The pumpers and everything, they're trying to drag this person further this way, get more Kool-Aid in their system. But there's always going to be some people over here in the borderline area. And then we have I love these people, just the people that are passed out drunk on Kool-Aid. This stock is going to $1. If you say anything negative at all, they jump on your back. You're evil. What are you trying to do? Are you shorting? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, they are the people in the cult where if they had a poisonous drink, they would drink it if the CEO said so. I mean, they are totally in love with the company. This is a straight up investment. I'm gonna, put this in my 401k. This is my retirement fund. My financial advisor says, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" And I tell him, "You're fired," because I know what I'm talking about. This company's awesome. I mean, these are the people that are passed out drunk, and boy, oh boy, as hunters, we're looking through our binoculars, just laughing, saying, "That a boy, keep drinking that Kool-Aid." Well, they're already at 100, so at this point, it's kind of like, don't get alcohol poisoning. But regardless, we love to see people that are on 100 on the Kool-Aid gauge and just passed out drunk, fully behind the company. Remember, when they're fully behind the company and it's time for us to sell, they are not going to be next to us trying to sell at the same price. If anything, they're going to be buying the shares from us, and that's fine by me. And then this here, kind of hidden off to the side, but this really sums up how to survive in Pennyland. Belief levels are always changing, so this gauge is always changing back and forth. More Kool-Aid, less Kool-Aid. And whoever can measure this gauge the best, and the gauge again measures Kool-Aid, which produces belief. So whoever can measure belief the best, measure the Kool-Aid, those are the people that are going to succeed. So just remember, belief is always changing, Kool-Aid levels are always changing, and we have to be able to measure that. But we're outside, we're on zero, we're not drinking the Kool-Aid, we're just trying to measure it. So let's just keep talking about this Kool-Aid gauge and really just how strong it is. To reiterate, the higher the number on that Kool-Aid gauge, the higher the belief. And the higher the belief, the higher our profits can be. And do not underestimate the power of Kool-Aid. What do I mean by this? Well, there's some cases, and this is just one, but in some cases, even after a company has been proven to be a scam, there are still those who remain long and strong and refuse to accept the facts that have been presented. I mean, unbelievable. This post right here on, what is this? Okay. IDGI, here's somebody saying, very good, whatever, that's that person's name. Never say die. Contrary to most people's belief, this is not over. Now, I want you to pay attention to this right here, FKA. FKA is not good because that is formally known as. And when you get formally known as, that's because you're in this category right here. Delisted, not good. So not only after this company has been delisted, I mean, think about that. The company is delisted. That's not good. When your company is delisted, not good. And I keep repeating that because this still boggles my mind as I talk about it. It's just I'm literally putting my hands up at my head, kind of shaking my head like, what are people thinking? Anyways, so this company has been delisted, and contrary to most people's belief, so I mean, this person, they are hammered on Kool-Aid still. This is not over. I'm pretty sure it's over. So, I mean, don't underestimate the power of Kool-Aid. It's just one of those things where it's hard to believe. A company delisted and this person is still, and you got to have belief. It's not over. Give me a break. Now, is it a wolf or a sheep? It's very hard to tell. I've already discussed this, the hypnotizing pumpers. The good ones will come across as true longs. You're going to think they're passed out on Kool-Aid. You're going to think that they are just totally, with it. I should say that's more so for if you're just new to the penny stock wilderness. There's really only one way to really distinguish, and again, not an exact science, but look at the person's posting history. I'll get into this in a later video, but when you look at somebody's posting history, you can see where they've been posting, and if they have a history of jumping from stock to stock to stock, and they do the same post, like, wow, this person was long on strong and about eight different stocks this past week. Well, then, that's a sign that potentially not, this is not an exact science, so don't quote me on that, but it's a very good indicator that, maybe this person's just a hypnotizing pumper and not a true long. Or have they been talking about this stock for a long time? Like, you go through their posting history and it's like, wow, this person has been talking about this stock and another stock for the past basically 4 months. In that case, hook, line, and sinker, odds are they are a straight up long who is drunk on Kool-Aid. And if that's the only message board or thing they're talking about on social media. Again, not an exact science, but I think that's a pretty good call that, all right, this person is, signed, sealed, and delivered as a Kool-Aid drinker. But the good news is, who cares? None of this matters. I mean, it matters so you know what's going on, but as long as they are pouring Kool-Aid, then that's what matters. So if they're a wolf or if they're a sheep, who cares what their motivation is? If they're pouring Kool-Aid and the Kool-Aid is flowing as bow hunters looking through our binoculars, that's what we want to see. Now, I'm a big movie buff. I kind of a big reader, but I love irony. I love when movies can do a good twist, when maybe there's some comedy in the irony, or just maybe the overall movie has irony within it. So that's just one of the aspects that I find fascinating about really just psychology, because again, penny stock market, the market in general, it's all psychology and human emotion. But one of the key huge reasons that Kool-Aid is so powerful is because of this side effect. And that side effect is it's self-replicating. Meaning, it turns people that are morally against the act of pumping, they say, no, pumping is wrong. I would never mislead somebody. That's a moral wrong thing to do. It turns them into pumpers themselves. And I mean, just so ironic that the people that are literally more and genuinely morally against pumping, sometimes those people become the biggest pumpers out of everybody. Because while the normal pumpers pump knowing it's pure garbage, the longs pump because they truly believe in their investment. So they're leading other people to the slaughter out of the goodness of their heart. They think that this is a great company. They think that this is gonna, make a difference in that person's life, but they just don't know. Again, motivation doesn't matter. Who really cares? But it's funny in a cruel kind of way that sweet little innocent people that are morally against pumping usually turn into the biggest pumpers, usually fight the most. I mean, if you're the one saying anything bad, they're the ones jumping on your back. How can you say that? This company's legit. And this is why pumpers, you always want to fill that glass right to the brim of Kool-Aid, because Kool-Aid replicates, it turns people into pumpers themselves. So it's just a domino effect, and domino effects of Kool-Aid, are what we're looking for as bow hunters. Now, I don't know, maybe this slide will totally offend you. To me, I try to be a very humble person, but I gotta pat myself on the back. I personally think this slide is hilarious. Again, I'm very easily amused. Maybe I have a bad sense of humor. I don't know, but this truly does sum up the Kool-Aid side effect and how it converts people. I mean, you have sweet old little grandma over here. I would never pump a stock. And then she totally buys into all the belief, and she just totally becomes just mean little granny over here. Don't talk bad about my stock. This company is legit. I talk to investor relations all the time. We have such a great relationship. I email with the CEO. I took a picture of their product once at my local store. I went to their facility and saw the office. It's a physical location. This company is real. That's all that matters. Forget about all the debt on the book. Forget about the CEO's past history. This is all legit. This is what the Kool-Aid side effect does, but this is what we want. The more people, the innocent ones, the well-intentioned ones, the sleazeballs, it's just going to convert. Some people have no problem. They'll say, if I need to pump, I'll pump, and they do it. But, the sweet old grandmas out there that don't want to do it, psychology is a powerful thing. Emotion is a powerful thing. And especially when you think you have a way to grow your money, and then, well-intentioned people get other people to grow their money, it's just like the blind leading the blind, and it leads to all sorts of belief. But, hey, that's what we want to see. So my apologies, though, if this slide has offended you. All right, let's look at some examples. So we need to first make a couple of assumptions. First, this poster here, which I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the poster. I'm sure it's some dude that's just using a pretty lady's photo. Anyway, so these are the assumptions we're going to make. First, that they're not hypnotizing pumper, that this very well could be somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. Again, just to reiterate, there's no way that we can tell. So let's just assume that this is a true long and strong. And secondly, we need to assume that they are being honest with the numbers. So according to this post, they own 3,000 shares. Let's see. I own from the 3. So they didn't give an exact number. So let's just say they own them from 0035, and they own 3 million shares. So if they own 3 million shares at 0035, that means they've put 10,500 into the stock. So that's a big chunk of change. I haven't sold a single share and will continue to support the stock, meaning if it dips at all, I'm going to buy. So when you're supporting the stock, any sort of price movement down, you're going to be there to support it and buy the dips. Again, whether or not that's true, I don't know. This could totally be a hypnotizing pumper that's just trying to persuade people. I don't know. At the time of this recording, it is at 0.0115, so not real sure where it would be at now. Actually, I lied. When I did this slide, it was, I thought I was going to do the video on that day, but I didn't. So let's take a look at it now. Now that we have more days under our belt, I'm going to pull up the chart and let's just see where this one's at. I don't know if it's going to be higher or lower right now, but let's just take a look. I kid you not. Post was made on March 25th of 2014. Let's bring up the chart here real quick. Right here is the 25th. Right there, you can look down at the bottom of the screen and see where that date is mapping. So right there is where that person was talking, all bragging about long and strong. I own this many shares. Well, buddy, it's looking like you should have sold, because at the time of this recording, the share price is now 006. It's all the way down here. So yeah, maybe it'll rebound. Who knows? Who really cares? But at this point, looking like belief is running a little low, but kind of funny to see. So right there, whether or not that person's true, if it is true, as we're assuming, then I'm sure they've been buying shares this whole way down. But one of those things where, when you're up 229%, but they're going to continue to support the stock, you are drunk on Kool-Aid. So here we have another one. Again, same assumptions. We'll assume that this person is legit and not hypnotizing pumpers, and that they're being honest. So let's see. He's talking to this person. I got in at 0002, threw stacks and stacks at it. I guess that's just like a Wall Street way about talking about doing money. Do the math. I'll be a millionaire at 10 cents. All right. So they purchased shares at 000, and at the time of this recording, stock is at 0002. So the person is up 1,100%, but not selling. Can you say greed? Can you say drunk on Kool-Aid? Who will be right? I don't know, but I would say that without a reverse split, there's no way the stock ever hits 10 cents. Again, it is 325.14 LVGI. Go do your homework. Go see where the stock's at. See if it ever gets close to hitting 10 cents without doing a reverse split. Remember what a reverse split does. That raises the price of shares. It decreases shares, but in order to keep everybody's value the same, it has to raise the price of shares. So just because a stock may look like it hit 10 cents, always got to see if there's any sort of splits in the share structure. So that's why I'm saying that. Won't say that it won't hit 10 cents, but if it does, I would bet quite a bit that that's because it was with a reverse split. But without a reverse split, there's no way this thing's hitting 10 cents. You can check me on that. LVGI 325.14. Okay, and instead of just having a bunch of them where it's, now check and see what's happened, let's just take a look at some where we already know the end results. I wanted to do a little mix of both. That way you can, see how some have unfolded since I've recorded. But this one, we already know the results. So this one was made on April 4th of 2000, April 10th of 2007. I'm buying more on the dip. Ended up as delisted. FKA, again, that means formerly known as B-Hub. I remember this one. This was a great mover. All sorts of belief and Kool-Aid flowing on it. And now you can see delisted. So hopefully that person was converted and was able to sell before this one actually got halted. So it was just a big train wreck. But just goes to show, I'm buying more on the dip. I hope you weren't along. Hope you're just a trader or something like that. Because if you were long and strong, that one ended up as delisted. Ouch. And I should note that this isn't like it's uncommon. This didn't take a long time. There's a whole section on this message board that has all these delisted stocks. So it's not like it's the exception and not the rule. I mean, all penny stocks end up in the graveyard. All right, and this was, let's see, 12/6 of 12. This person said buying more on the dip, and that's where that location was. You can see there, that dip. Ouch. Hopefully they were converted back to being not a long and strong, because that was basically the end of things right there. Price way up there. There is the dip. Now the price is way down here. And, you can, just one of those things where it's like, ouch. Not good. Here's another one where we know the outcome. Made July 14th of 2005. Let's just read through it. Trust the CEO. Basically, you trust management because they are good, hardworking, and dynamic. I trust Ace, whatever that is, because he made many great stock picks. That I trust because he made many great stock picks. All right, that's always a clue. If they can't quite spell or put together a sentence, little red flag. Anyways, look, investing is hard. Even the best pros lose money in the market. So again, Maybe this guy, I don't think this guy's a Kool-Aid or a hypnotizing pumper. Maybe he is, but it looks to me like he is just totally drunk. But with CLYW, we have excellent risk versus reward ratio. Are you kidding? Again, right now, if you could see me, I'm shaking my head. Risk versus reward ratio, you're saying is in your favor investing in a penny stock. I don't think so. I know this is agonizing time for all patient longs, but I would advise more patience. There is a golden pot at the end of the rainbow. And if you didn't see up there, what happened to CLYW? Whoops. Delisted. So all those people that were probably telling, this thing I think looks like the party's over. Us as bow hunters, we don't care. We're just over on the side. But talk about somebody that is just drunk on Kool-Aid. Agonizing time. You just got to be more patient. There's a golden pot at the end of the rainbow. Delisted. That one hurts, but welcome to the world of penny stocks and the food source. And finally, this is another important slide, one of the more important ones in the entire course, the penny stock rainbow. The penny stock rainbow, this sums up pretty much Pennyland right here in the food source. As basic as it is, a picture says 1,000 words. You have people that think they are going to be rich, myself included. When I first got started, this was me. I am going to be rich. There is a pot of gold at the end of this glorious journey that this company is going to take me on, and it's going to be marvelous. I'm going to just be richer than a leprechaun, and the leprechauns are going to be jealous of me. This truly sums it up. This is what the penny stock wilderness is all about. This sums up the human emotion and psychology of the market. Going to be rich. Here is where all the pumpers, promoters, management, IR, they're all here to help to paint this nice little pretty rainbow picture. But at the end of the day, and again, the end of the day, this rainbow could be a day. This rainbow could be a week. This rainbow could be 3 months. This rainbow could be a year. Who knows how long this little rainbow journey is going to last, but in reality, all of these are just pieces of trash. That's just how it is. There's a pot at the end of the rainbow, delisted. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Are they all going to become delisted? No, but they're all going to get reverse split. I mean, it's just, they're all trash, okay? And this is the penny stock rainbow. This sums up the penny stock wilderness as a whole. So many bright dreams, so many huge hopes, and then they see at the end of the rainbow. Again, I don't talk about this looking down on people. I was in this category, and I found at the end of my rainbow was just a pile, heaping, smelling load of crap, trash. That's all I can really call it. All right, we have now, these are going to be some lazy examples here. So this person just shows up. Can someone please fill me in on why, or what is going on here? Why the increase in PPS, again, meaning price per share? I don't know, go do some research on your own. Go look at something. Go look at a chart. Go look at some filings. Go look at the news releases. Why are you coming to a random place on the internet with complete strangers and asking somebody why the price increased? I mean, it's just to me, it's mind-boggling. It's just one of those things where I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. It really befuddles me. It leaves me speechless, as you can see. Here's another example. This person comes and literally asks, why should I buy this stock? So again, let's just go off to the magical land of the internet, find a message board, and then just ask a bunch of total strangers about a penny stock and why I should buy. And hopefully this person didn't listen to the advice that they got, because as you can see, delisted, FKA, formerly known as AWYI. So all I can say is hopefully that person wised up and didn't choose the lazy route, because this is just flat out lazy. And that's really all I can say about that. So here's another one. They show up. Why should I buy this stock? Now at the location of this post, it was right here. So as you can see, the price actually made a move up higher than where they were asking about it. So this assumes that they bought it on that day right down here, and then it moved up again here. So not once, but twice. So all we can do is really hope that this entry was for a trade. However, when you consider the fact that, again, they're going to some deep dark crevice on the internet, asking around random strangers, seeking advice, I really get the feeling that they didn't buy on the bounce, because I guarantee you the people that were telling them they should buy were either people that were pumping because they're hypnotizing pumpers, or just pumpers in general, or other people that were pumping because they truly believed in what they were investing in, kind of like the grandma. They were grandma pumpers And they're not going to tell the person to sell. To them, this is just, they're buy the dips. So when this dip was happening, buy the dip, buy the dip. So you know what? This is pure speculation, but just knowing my experience, this is my guess what happened. They probably bought here on that date, came up here, wow, this thing is working, pulled back. Everybody that was telling them to probably buy, hey, buy the dip, I'm buying the dip. Whether or not that's true, totally different story. So they bought some more, and then boom, this happened. They're thinking, wow, these people are my friends. They told me to buy the dip. Now I have more shares, and I'm back in the green again. This thing's going to $1. I'm going to make so much money, and then this dip happens. Hey, buy some more. All right, bought some. Then you can see there, this is a little cruelty right here. Bounces some more. Oh, those people were right. I'm so glad I listened and bought on the dip. Boom. See you later. And of course, those people that were buying, they were probably selling on each of these bounces, and they probably exited the remainder of their shares up here. But this little lazy bum who is just totally not willing to learn or do anything on them for themselves, they are enjoying a nice roller coaster ride to the downside. Again, another example where you can see how it played out. This post, is this a good stock? So wow, asking random strangers, was it this location? So look at that, boom. Great entry, stock rockets. However, goes back to the previous slide. If you're asking for random strangers and then you listen to these random strangers and then these random strangers' advice gives you something like this, they've been telling you how great the company is and how this, that, and the other, this thing's going to be a buyout. There's a reverse merger coming. Who knows what else, the products are going to be in store soon. Hey, look at these pictures that I just took showing the office. They're doing everything they can. So this person is converted. It pulls back. Hey, buy the dip. So maybe they bought some there. You can see a little bit bounce here. People are right. Going back down. Oh, no worries about it. Buy some more. And then you can see it just falls off into oblivion. So one of these things where hopefully this person, wised up before taking the advice of strangers. But if they did take advice and that advice reaped them these sorts of rewards, you can guarantee that they were buying more shares and, they were totally converted, drunk on the Kool-Aid. Hey, this is a real company. It's made me so much, or I'm up this amount of money already. So highly doubtful that if somebody did actually buy that they would have sold. Maybe they did, but given the emotion and psychology of it, they would have been just totally convinced by all those people that told them, the pumpers that converted them with the Kool-Aid. Here we have another one. This post was made, let's see, is this a good company? Saw a huge spike in volume back a few months. Maybe we'll follow with a run. Well, it was made at this point here. And as you can see, at the time of, the video, the price is now way down here. Not looking too good. So hopefully this person, when they're coming asking random strangers, is this a good company? At least they're not too lazy because, they looked at something because they saw that there's a huge spike in volume. So they're doing at least a little bit of research, but still at the end of the day, asking random strangers, is this a good company? That's just not a good policy for the long term. And then in closing, you've seen the slide, you've seen this equation. Just want to reiterate, remember, with no food source, nobody eats. Maybe you're thinking, why are you doing this course? If this is all true, why would you be revealing all these facts? Because you're going to decrease your own personal food source. And that is a very valid point. Why would I be trying to do this and decrease the food source out there? Because there's a sucker born every minute. The food source has always been there and it will always be there. Again, lazy people, the ego people, they're not going to sign up for this course. They're not going to do anything that requires effort or might tell them that, hey, you could learn something. Remember, ego people already know it all. Lazy people are lazy. And those are the people that make up the vast majority of the food base, the food source. So yeah, I can understand your concern. Why am I giving it away? If all this stuff was true, you would not be sharing it. But by definition, lazy people and ego people, they're not going to sign up for this course. Suckers born every minute. Cheers. Let's have some Kool-Aid.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button and leave a comment below, even if you just say thanks. Also, go to claytrader.com/team, and if you want to join my private community that's got all sorts of added benefits, you can learn more at that link, then please join. I'd love to have you. It's very cost effective, and like I said, if you want to surround yourself with other quality, like-minded people such as yourself, then I hope you give it some consideration. But again, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and leave a comment down below.